interpreter. Can you please speak to the Persian channel, please? Zara, can you please speak in the Farsi channel, please? Sarah, could you please speak in the Farsi channel, please? Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. I can hear you. Okay. Can you switch to the Arabic channel, please? Yeah. Zara, can you speak in the Arabic channel? Zara, can you speak in the Arabic channel, please? Thank you.
Sarah, so I think your mic is open. Can you please speak on the Persian channel now?
Can you speak in Arabic? I heard it.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Dear colleagues, we are just waiting our president that is coming to begin. Just 1 minute. Thank you. Dear colleagues, first of all, welcome our President, Tulia Axon. We are very happy that you are here in the Forum of Women Parliamentarians. So welcome, our President. Dear colleagues, I'm very pleased to see all of you here today. A warm welcome to all of you men that are here. Thank you so much that you are here, because we cannot have gender equality if men is not here also in the decision-making process. So thank you so much for being with us. And also all women parliamentarians, thanks for attending this Forum of Women Parliamentarians in this 38th session. I also want to say welcome to our Secretary General, Martin Chungong, a big supporter for women. Thank you, SG, and very welcome. And also, I'm so happy to see former President Duarte Pacheco that is here. It's an honor to have you here, dear former President Duarte. Always welcome to the Forum of Women Parliamentarians. Also, I want to recognize the work of the first Vice President of the Forum of Women Parliamentarians, Ms. Ilimi from Argelia. Faride, thank you so much for all your work, such as the second Vice President, Ms. Aida Nassif from Egypt, doing an extraordinary work. Also, I would like to tell that we have had our board meeting, and thank you for the participation. And also I want to recognize Véronique Rioton from Assemblée Nationale de France for being in the Bureau, but also for her re-election as a Member of Parliament. Véronique. Also, she's not here in Indonesia, but please send a big hug to Ms. Komandurin, that she's member of the board and she was also re-elected. We congratulate her. Also, Ms. Assad, that is member of the Bureau, she was re-elected as a member of Parliament. Congratulations, Ms. Assad, for the re-election. And yes. And Esperance from Rwanda, I don't know if she's here. Yeah, congratulations, double, because you have the re-election, and now Rwanda has 63% of women in Parliament. And yeah, also in this, I'm mentioned members of the Bureau that we were re-elected. Ms. Makailova from Azerbaijan, she's member of the Bureau and also of the Executive Committee of the IPU. Congratulations. And okay. So, and thank you all the members of the Bureau for being here in this room. So, it's an honor to preside over this session, the Forum, in my role as President of the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians. We also have an election in Mexico, my country, and I feel very proud that now, after 200 years, Mexico has the first women president in the history of Mexico. So I feel very happy about that. And also, I run as a senator in my country from Mexico City, and I win. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. So this year, I'm also very proud to be among the women to be re-elected. But also, I feel very proud because numbers are increasing for women in Parliament. Despite the 72 election of renewals of parliamentary chambers planned for this year, the global average of women in parliaments stands at 27%. So it's a little increasing, but we are step by step pushing the ceiling, the crystal ceiling, and have more women in parliament. So this is a slow progress, but it's quite difficult for us, but we are step by step increasing our numbers, and we hope one day will be, as Rwanda, to have this number of women, or at least gender balance in the chambers. So with this in mind, I encourage everyone to integrate a gender perspective into all discussions today and through the entire 119th Assembly of IPU. By doing this, we can ensure that our contributions are informed by a strong commitment of gender equality. So I am pleased to inform you, I am very happy because it was a big battle in the Executive Committee. I want to thank Gabriela from Poland that is here. Gabriela, thank you. Also, Ms. Mikhailova, Beatriz Arguimon for Uruguay, and all the women that support this in the EXCOM, because we will have the first woman conference in 135 years of IPU. Now we will have the first conference of women as it is youth. We have a youth conference each year, and all the support of the President Tulia Axon. Thank you, President, for all your support, because now we are making history with this forum, and our Secretary General, thank you for your support. So this conference was approved in the last EXCOM, and we will have it in Mexico in March 2025. So I wait you in Mexico in March 2025. I want to tell and thanks the speaker. I want to recognize the support from Speaker Nudu from Zambia, Nuti from Zambia. Is she here? Oh, for all your support, my dear speaker. Thank you so much, because we did it. Thank you so much. And of course, all the support for all women in EXCOM. So I have to thank the Speaker of the Senate of Mexico, Mr. Gerardo Fernandez Noroña, that I received the letter this morning to welcome the Conference of Women Parliamentarians in Mexico 2025. So from here, I say thank you to my speaker to support. We will be very happy to receive you in Mexico, all of you, in March 2025. So with this notice, We will be hosting this Conference of Women Parliamentarians, and we look forward to participation to continue our collective efforts. And of course, the President of Mexico will be very happy to welcome you in this first conference in the story of IPU. So without further, let me extend a warm welcome to our President, Tulia Axon, recognize all her work that she has been doing in IPU. She is restless. She do a lot of work in her country, Tanzania, as a speaker, but she's also in all parliaments trying to promote gender equality. So I was with her recently in Hungary, like 5 days ago, and we were talking with the president, with the speaker, with all the delegations about gender balance. We want to thank Hungary for this visit, and she is doing this all the time. So recognize our President, Tulia Axon, for all your work for IPU. You are doing great. Thank you, President. And also our Secretary General, that is the chairperson in the International Gender Champions, and of course, a strong supporter for women. SG, thank you. So, Madam President, we will be very delighted to invite you to deliver your opening remarks. So, dear President, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Madam President of the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians. Mr. Secretary General, I recognize your presence, and the two vice chairs of the Bureau, and all of you colleagues and friends. It's so good to see all of you here in Geneva and ready to advance the cause of women that we represent, but also the cause of our countries that we represent. I am very pleased today to open this Forum of Women Parliamentarians. It is really heartwarming to see all of you. And having said that, I would like to particularly thank the men, like the President has just said. I thank all the men who are in this room today. It is very special to see so many faces supporting the cause of women. So we are happy to see you, and we welcome all of you. You're part of this, and we are happy to always be with you. That said, I would like also to congratulate all the new members of Parliament who have just joined this forum. I'm sure it wasn't very easy in your respective countries, but you have won, so congratulations. And while I congratulate all of you, I would like particularly to congratulate our President for having fought so hard to become a senator of the City of Mexico. So congratulations, our President, that you have been able to come back to us. We missed you in March because you were busy with the fight, but now you're here. Welcome back. That said, and having congratulated all of you, she mentioned here some countries that are doing so well in terms of the numbers of the women in Parliament, but also because I'm President of IPU, much as I'm female, I also would like to recognize the number of countries that have made progress in terms of the youth in their parliaments, but also in other categories of people that are disadvantaged or maybe underrepresented in their respective parliaments. So I would like to take note of that. But while we were welcoming our male colleagues in our meeting today, we know that true progress of gender equality cannot go with women alone. Men have to be part of it. That's why I started by recognizing all of you. The Secretary General doesn't need recognition because he has been a pioneer all along, and we thank him for his commitment. And placing a gender perspective at the heart of our Assembly discussion is essential for achieving effective and sustainable solutions that leave no one behind. Here in Geneva, we will be discussing the importance of science, technology, and innovation for the common good. We will focus on its potential to change our world for the better and pave the way to solutions. Yet women are largely excluded from these spheres, whether in technological development or decision-making. Digitalization, often heralded as the great equalizer, is on track to widen inequalities if we don't address the gender-digital divide. We risk the loss of a crucial momentum in making new and emerging technologies both sustainable and gender equal. This is something we simply cannot afford. As we deliberate on a draft resolution on the impact of artificial intelligence on democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, we must be clear about one thing. AI is not gender neutral. AI systems are often based on existing biases and can reinforce them. This trend disproportionately impacts women and girls. In addition to perpetuating gender stereotypes, AI-generated sexist content can also be a source of online harassment, further limiting opportunities and exacerbating inequality. We need a deliberate effort to ensure that AI is developed and implemented in a way that promotes equality and inclusivity. AI must be shaped to consider the unique experiences and needs of women and girls from all backgrounds. Colleagues, today at this forum, we will be discussing the importance of sustaining peace and providing justice for women and girls. This is most timely. Sustaining peace is a prerequisite for gender equality, just as gender equality is essential for lasting peace. Evidence shows that when women are included in peace and reconciliation processes, there is a significantly higher chance of achieving and sustaining peace. Women bring unique perspectives and solutions to the table, often addressing the root causes of conflict and prioritizing their communities. Among the key pillars of the women, peace, and security agenda, there is protection. And here, we are lagging far behind. We need to place the rights of women and girls at the center and lay the ground for gender-responsive justice and reparations for sexual and gender-based violence committed during conflicts. In troubled times such as these, we need firm parliamentary action. It is our duty to uphold women's and girls' rights at all times, whether in wartime or in peacetime. Women's leadership is crucial in this endeavor. Dear colleagues, it should be clear by now that we cannot progress in isolation. We recently adopted the Pact of the Future, which underscores the importance of inclusive leadership in driving stronger governance, achieving better outcomes, and fostering more peaceful and equitable societies. This forum's contribution is essential as we look for global solutions to our interconnected problems. Dear colleagues, dear friends, I look forward to all your deliberations today and in the course of this assembly, and the IPU has open arms for all the issues that are there, and they are meant to advance the cause of women, the cause of girls. And we will always support whatever idea you come up with that is in that trajectory. So I would like to take this opportunity to wish you all the best as you attend this 149th Assembly here in Geneva. So since I was invited to open, I'm going to declare the Forum of Women open. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Madam President, our dear President Tulia Axon, for your inspiring words, your strong commitment, but your work every day that you are doing, crossing the world, visiting our countries to empower women in parliament. Thank you so much. And we recognize you also because you are only the third women to be president in the history of IPU. So we feel very proud of your work. Mr. Secretary General, thank you for being with us. We appreciate your outstanding support to gender equality. And now, Madam President and Mr. Secretary General, if you have to go to another committee or if you want to stay, you feel free. So, dear colleagues, let us now begin our work with the adoption of the agenda. I also, before beginning this, I just want also to recognize the presence of Ms. Persuade from Guyana, that is also a member of the Bureau, and Ms. Rempel from Canada, that she has been doing a great work in the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians, as also Ms. Malaquias from Angola, that she was hosting an extraordinary meeting in Angola. Thanks for all your job. And Ms. Paunovic from Serbia, thank you for your commitment. I cannot see from here, but thank you. Oh, thank you for all your work, dear friend. So now we will begin our work with the adoption of the agenda. You have before you the agenda in the forum, which was drawn up by the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians at its session in March. So may I invite you to adopt this agenda by acclamation, please. Thank you, colleagues. The agenda is adopted. So our session today will be continued until 5:30 with a lunch break from 1 to 2:30. And we have many interesting matters to discuss, and I am sure we will have enlightening and interesting discussion. Of course, all the countries, we are happy that they can participate in this discussion, respecting the time. So we're going to point number 2, activities to advantage gender equality. We will now consider item 2 of our agenda, that it focuses on recent activities to advance gender equality. We will hear reports from Ms. Sevil Mikhailova from Azerbaijan, who is a member of the Executive Committee of the IPU, a member of the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians, and also a member of the Gender Partnership Group, and also is the country that is hosting the COP this year. So we are very happy to listen to you. Ms. Mikhailova will report first on the work of Bureau of Women Parliamentarians and then the work of recommendations in the Gender Partnership Group. So, Ms. Mikhailova, you have the floor.
Thank you very much.
Can you help with the sound, please? Can the members of the staff help us with the sound, please?
Can I start?
Here.
Can you? Thank you for this opportunity. Madam President, dear colleagues, I am very pleased to brief you on the work carried out by the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians last October and this morning in Geneva, as well as in an online meeting in July. For an essential part, the Bureau prepared this 38th session of the Forum. It agreed that the Forum will debate the draft resolution on impact of artificial intelligence on democracy, human rights, and the rule of law from a gender perspective. This choice was particularly obvious for the Bureau as AI is not gender neutral and can internalize and reinforce gender norms and biases. It also often plays a major role in technology-facilitated gender-based violence. We propose that the debate led by Ms. Elimi from Algeria as chairperson and Ms. Wrighton from France as rapporteur. I hope that you will welcome these proposals. The Bureau also selected the topic of the panel discussion to take place this afternoon on sustaining peace, providing justice to women and girls. With strong focus on ending impunity for crimes committed against women and girls living in a situation of conflict, the discussion will aim to explore how to guarantee their access to justice and recovery as a key element of sustaining peace. We will be looking at this issue at national and international level, with special guests presenting the practice of international tribunals and that of organizations supporting gender-sensitive transitional justice experiences in certain countries. We will also focus on our role as parliamentarians and how we can strengthen the accountability of national legal frameworks for justice processes that are gender responsive. I would therefore invite you all to take part in this important discussion, and I look forward to our deliberations. Our Bureau has also decided to organize a parity debate during the Assembly on the theme Pushing Back on the Pushback, Men and Women MPs Preserving and Advancing Gender Equality. It will take place on Wednesday, 16th of October, from 11:30 to 1 p.m. This will be a unique opportunity to share our insights into the 2024 elections held so far and to review pushbacks on gender equality that we are sadly seeing in many parts of the world. We invite you to come along with the men, colleagues in your delegations. The Bureau also met online in July to consider its proposals to amend the IPU statutes and rules. We agreed to propose a set of amendments to establish gender parity as the new norm across the IPU by mandating parity among men and women in the membership of IPU bodies, mandating parity among men and women in leadership positions, reinforcing existing gender equality provisions such as quotas, and reinforcing sanctions for non-compliance with existing gender equality provisions. I believe that the set of amendments to be proposed by the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians will make the IPU an even stronger leader on gender equality. The proposals will be submitted to the working group in charge of reviewing amendments, and we hope that the set of amendments proposed by our Bureau will be adopted at the next 150th Assembly in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. I thank you for your attention and look forward to interesting debates today. And my second report for you is from a gender partnership group where I am as a member function. And as you know, the group is composed of 2 women and 2 men from the IPU Executive Committee. We are tasked with promoting and monitoring measures to advance gender equality within the IPU and in national parliaments. I'm really pleased to be part of this group, which is chaired by Al Naoumi from the United Arab Emirates, and also includes Ms. Lopez Castro from Mexico and Ms. Almador from Spain. Based on the information available when the group met yesterday, we expect strong participation of women at the Assembly. 36.4% of debates announced here in Geneva are women. This is better than the past 4 assemblies, but still well below the record 39% of women delegates in Nusa Dua in 2022 and in Madrid in 2021. So we know we can do better than this, and actually we are doing better when it comes to ensuring such delegation includes at least 1 man and 1 woman, aiming for parity. Here I have some promising news. At this assembly, we expect a record low of all male delegation and a record high of gender-balanced delegations. Among the delegations announced to include at least 2 members, only 5 are expected to be all male and 2 all female. This is the lowest number ever of single-sex delegations of 2 or 4 more members. If we look at the past 10 assemblies, that's for comparison. Last March, there were 17 such delegations, 15 all male and 2 all female. The other good piece of news is that 35% of delegations are expected to include at least 40% women or men. This is much better than last time when we had 30% of delegations within the 40 to 60 gender balance ratio, and an impressive number of delegations are announced with 50 to 50 ratio, and their number is 23 in total. This is the way to go, and we hope more delegations will follow suit. Ultimately, our objective is to get to 0 delegations that are not mixed and achieve gender parity at the IPU, and we count on this forum to champion this agenda. The group also deliberated on the special cases of delegations that do not attend assemblies for several consecutive sessions. It decided that we should not apply sanctions on single-sex delegations if they had not attended any assemblies for 4 years or more. Colleagues, the group also took note of progress made in the implementation of the new IPU policy against harassment, including sexual harassment at assemblies and other IPU meetings, which was adopted a year ago. You may have seen the posters that are being displayed in the assembly premises and announcements in different meetings. The goal is 0 harassment, and each of us must play our part. The group encourages all delegations to promote this policy within their own geopolitical groups. We know awareness raising is key. Together, we can be agents of change for a more inclusive and respectful democratic space. Thank you for your attention, and I would like, Madam President, by your permission, to make a note of upcoming COP29 that my country, Azerbaijan, will host. Quite few days maybe are left to this very brilliant event, which will bring together nations in Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan, to deal with climate change challenges that we are facing, unfortunately. And I think that participation of women and men together and raising the problems that really affect men and women in different ways will be a crucial point to cope with the climate change challenges. Thank you, and waiting for you in Baku.
Thank you very much for these informative reports and overviews, and of course to make the invitation to be in Baku for the next COP. We need the participation of women parliamentarians, and we will be very happy to be in your country, dear Ms. Maya Kilova. So in these amendments, I have to just tell you that this Forum of Women Parliamentarians, with the support of Gabriela from Poland, from Ms. Mikhailova, from Speaker Nuti, and I hope I'm not missing anyone, and of course the President. Now we have in the amendments of IPU, after 135 years, that it's recommended to rotate men and women for the presidents of IPU. So now we will have, it is not mandatory because sometimes it could be maybe women, women, men, women, you know, but this recommendation is not to be mandatory because maybe some delegations or some geopolitical group this time want a man or this time want a woman, but it will be recommended to rotate also geopolitical group and also the gender. So I feel very proud because in this forum we are making history, putting this in the statutes of IPU and breaking the ceiling for the generations that are coming behind us. Also, in these amendments, with all the support of the President and Secretary General, is the balance between President and Vice President, gender balance. So if the President is a woman, the Vice President has to be a man and the opposite. Also, gender mainstreaming requires in all IPU resolutions, and Sovinar, that is here from Armenia, that we want also to congratulate because she worked very hard with Armenian delegation to have a very important Forum of Young Parliamentarians in your country. It was great. She also proposed, and we are working in the group, that the minutes that you can speak in the General Assembly to be gender balanced, so they can allow women also in the delegations to have half of the speech. So we are working on that, and we are hoping to approve it very soon. So thank you, President and Secretary General. We know that you have to go to your political group, so we thank you so much for your presence here, and we will continue working with you. Thank you for coming. Dear colleagues, let us now turn our attention to recent gender equality activities carried out by IPU. Before that, I want to thank you, the Hungarian delegation, for hosting us for a visit with the President of IPU, where we were working in the Parliament. Also, Brazilian Parliament, because we were working in the Forum of Women Parliamentarians. The Parliament of Namibia, that we installed the caucus of women parliamentarians, and Turkey, the recent activities of July with the United Nations. So we will continue visiting the parliaments promoting gender equality. So I'm pleased to invite Ms. Zeina Hilal, Secretary of the Forum and Manager of IPU Genders Partnership Program, to give an update of our recent activities of the IPU. So dear Zeina, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Dear members of the Forum of Women Parliamentarians, indeed, we have been promoting gender equality in the IPU, thanks to your work, and through the IPU in several parliaments, recently including supporting parliaments in carrying out gender-sensitive parliaments assessments. This has happened in the Congress of Colombia and is going to happen in the National Assembly of Djibouti very soon. We have also been supporting parliaments in countries in transition, such as Gabon or Burkina Faso, to ensure that their constitutional making process is inclusive of women's participation, leadership and perspectives, and so that the preparation for the future includes women's voices as high as possible. Also, Madam President, a big thank you to you and to the members of the Bureau of Women for stepping in to support women in other countries. You did so in Turkey, supporting the women parliamentarians to explore best means to enhance women's participation in parliament. Madam President, you shared the Mexican experience of parity quotas. Thank you for that. It was very much appreciated. Also, we are working to enhance peer-to-peer support among caucuses of women parliamentarians, including in Sierra Leone or in Kenya and Uganda. We are also supporting several parliaments in better implementing the Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women by revising legislation and knowing which discriminatory provisions remain in legislation. And in this regard, I would like to inform you that such work is being carried out in Uganda, Mongolia, and Benin, and that the Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, the United Nations Committee, is currently meeting here in Geneva, and several state delegations of countries being examined by the CEDAW committee include parliamentarians. And this is a very good news. The IPU has always called for parliamentarians to be included in national delegations coming to present their report and discuss their advancements with the committee. And congratulations to the Parliament of Benin, the Parliament of Cuba, the Parliament of the Council of Saudi Arabia for having parliamentarians included in their state delegation to the CEDAW committee. New Zealand as well has in the delegation MPs as observers. So this is very good news. Please make sure to have a look at when your countries are going to be examined by the CEDAW committee and make sure that parliamentarians are included in the delegations, exactly like Benin, Cuba, Saudi Arabia, and New Zealand have done for this session of the CEDAW committee. Finally, Madam President, one word about what is coming in the future. I am very pleased to announce that the IPU has identified as the priority theme for its work in 2025 to be gender equality. And this is, as you know, because of very important milestones happening in 2025, including the Beijing +30 review, including also the 25th anniversary of the Women, Peace and Security Agenda, and including the 40th anniversary of this Forum of Women Parliamentarians in 2025. The forum will be 40 years old, so we will celebrate that all together. Definitely. Bravo to all of you to make this forum such a vibrant platform. We will celebrate heavily next week, including with the first Conference of Women Parliamentarians that the President of the Bureau will host in her country, in Mexico, where parity is the rule and the norm, and where I think we can all be inspired by such a good experience. Madam President, I'll stop here, and I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, members.
Thank you, Zainab, and congratulations for your tremendous work in this Forum of Women Parliamentarians. Talking about my country, Mexico, let me tell you that I want to recognize our former speaker, Marcela Guerra, the speaker of the Chamber of Deputies that is here. Thanks for being here, because now in Mexico, it is the first time we have a woman as a president. It was a speaker when our former Marcela Guerra was speaker woman. The Senate, it was a woman, now it's a man, and also the president of the Supreme Court. So thank you for being here, and also the Mexican delegation. And also I want to mention Ms. Karalova for being here, member of the Bureau. Also Ms. Linda Reynolds, Thank you for being here, dear colleague, member of the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians. So the next point is contribution to the work of the 149th Assembly. So colleagues, in this item number 3, we will now turn to the contribution of the Forum to work in the 149th Assembly with a view to providing input for a gender perspective. This is a key role for the Forum, so let me make every input count. We will discuss today about the panel that is the impact of artificial intelligence or democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, which is examined by the Standing Committee on Democracy and Human Rights. So the countries that want to participate, you have to put it in the list. Someone who is putting in the list, so we can.
So slips are being distributed for members to register.
Okay, if someone needs to register, yes, the Secretariat, please, we need to register the countries that want to participate in this discussion. So our purpose today is to discuss this draft resolution for a gender perspective, so the amendments can be drawn to make the draft more gender-focused, responsive and inclusive to the needs and interests of women and girls. This will lead to concrete recommendations or gender-related amendments to be submitted by the Forum for the Standing Committee, and short presentation on the draft resolution of gender-related impacts of artificial intelligence will be delivered. After that, we will debate in the plenary. So, dear colleagues, the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians has nominated the chairperson and the rapporteur, the chairperson, the second Vice President of the Bureau of Women from Argelia, Ms. Ilimi, and Véronique Rioton from Assemblée Nationale de France, nominated as rapporteur. So I kindly invite you to approve these nominations by acclamation, please. Also, before you have the floor, I want also to mention, to make a recall that it was in Angola that Ms. Linda Reynolds was working very hard on that, is passed the Australian Orphanage Trafficking Resolution to assist legislators implement reforms. So she will be seeking support for Australia to work with IPU and ILO to prepare the legislators' guide and workshops for the Assembly. We will be grateful to support support you. Linda, please stand up so everybody knows. And of course, you have the support of all the Forum of Women Parliamentarians in Australia in this. So now, I'm pleased to welcome the co-rapporteur to the draft resolution under consideration, who kindly accept our invitation to present the overall scope of the resolution. Ms. Rempel from Canada, member of the Bureau of Women Parliamentarians. Rachel will introduce the draft resolution, the impact of artificial intelligence on democracy, human rights, and rule of the law. So I want to recognize the great work the great job that Rachel does in the forum. And now, dear Ms. Rempel, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Madam President. And thank you to all of you. Colleagues, we are in the midst of a massive technological transformation that will have an impact on our economies and, in turn, on the fabric of our civil societies. The rapid and widespread introduction of artificial intelligences have already begun to affect how we talk to each other, how we make decisions, and how these artificial intelligences have been built, how they've been distributed, and how they're impacting us have largely been done without international guardrails. There are many international groups right now that are working on facilitating the development of those guardrails, as well as many national parliaments are doing the same thing. The goal of this resolution is to do two things. First of all, it's to recognize that this technological transformation has had and will continue to have an impact on democracy and human rights. The second part, or intent of this resolution, is to ensure that the IPU, as it has its mandate laid out in Article 1 of the statute, so to foster dialogue between parliaments, is also building capacity within our own parliament and in the IPU to proactively and productively address this change. So the resolution itself was developed first in consultation at the last assembly in a debate, which was very productive. I also want to thank many member nations participated in this debate and had very salient comments. I learned a lot. The other perspective that we tried to develop this resolution with was that all areas of the globe must be equitably recognized in any global frameworks to regulate artificial intelligence. My colleague Nima Luganjira from Tanzania, unfortunately, you can still hear? There we go. She unfortunately had a delay in travel today, but one of the things that she really brought to the table was that the Global South needs to be included in regulations and discussions because of the unique perspective that the Global South brings. So today, colleagues, as you enter into this debate, we ask you to do another thing, which is to look at the development of this resolution from the perspective, a woman's perspective, from a gender parity perspective. I'll direct your attention to the documents contained in the agenda package under I'll talk as loud as I can. I'll direct your attention to these documents, which outline, and I won't do that in a speech here, some of the impact that artificial intelligence is already having on a gender parity perspective. You have the commitment of myself and my co-rapporteur Nema to ensure that any resolutions and this debate or any amendments or any discussions is reflected in the final draft of the resolution, which we hope to present to the Assembly on Thursday. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, Michelle Rempel, Member of Parliament of Canada, for the great report, insights, and remarks, and this presentation. So now is time for the debate. We will be in debate from now until 1 p.m. So I now leave the chairpersonship to Ms. Ilimi, Vice President of the Forum of Women Parliamentarians, who will preside over the debate, and we will be here listening all of you. So if someone wants to participate, here the Secretariat and the staff is ready to assist you. And Ms. Ilimi, please. Welcome, Chair.
شكرا السيدة الرئيسة. بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، صباح الخير الزميلات الفضليات، الزملاء الأفاضل. إنه لمن دواعي سروري أن أترأس مناقشات المنتدى بشأن مشروع القرار المعنون تأثير الذكاء الاصطناعي في الديمقراطية وحقوق الإنسان وسيادة القانون. أغتنم هذه الفرصة لأهنئ كل الزميلات اللواتي تم انتخابهن مؤخراً في البرلمانات الوطنية، ومن بينهن الزميلة السيدة فيرونيك ريوتون من فرنسا التي تم اقتراحها كمقررة لهذه الجلسة، وكلانا تتطلع إلى المناقشات التي سنجريها اليوم والتي ستكون بناءة ومثمرة بكل تأكيد. كما أغتنم الفرصة أن أشكر ميشيل غومبيل التي شاركت في هذا القرار كمقررة. كما نهنئك الزميلة ميشيل على العمل الجاد والدؤوب من خلال عدة لقاءات عن بعد. وقبل أن أقدم موضوع مناقشة اليوم، أود أن أذكر كل من يريد أخذ الكلمة ويملأ بعد استمارة التسجيل في قائمة المتحدثين بالقيام بذلك دون تأخير. كما أود أن أذكر أيضاً بأن بعض الوثائق المفيدة لمناقشتنا متاحة عند مدخل القاعة، فأدعو من لم يأخذ نسخة منها إلى القيام بذلك. وتحتوي هذه الوثائق على مشروع قرار اللجنة الدائمة المعنية بالديمقراطية وحقوق الإنسان والتعديلات على ذلك القرار، والتي ستخضع للمناقشة اعتباراً من الغد. وكما نعلم الجميع، سنناقش اليوم مشروع قرار اللجنة الدائمة المعنية بالديمقراطية وحقوق الإنسان المعنون تأثير الذكاء الاصطناعي في الديمقراطية وحقوق الإنسان وسيادة القانون. وسترتكز مناقشتنا على مراعاة الأبعاد الجنسانية في ذلك القرار، وسنتمكن في ختام مناقشتنا من صياغة اقتراحات باسم المنتدى لإدخال تعديلات على مشروع القرار تخص البعد الجنساني. وقد نقرر أيضاً تأييد التعديلات المقترحة حالياً إذا كانت تعالج بعض انشغالاتنا. وستقوم اللجنة الدائمة بعد ذلك بدراسة جميع هذه التعديلات في إطار المداولات. ومن ثم أدعو إلى تناول المواضيع التالية في المداخلات. هناك 4 نقاط. النقطة الأولى: كيف يمكن للبرلمانات أن تعمل على السياسات واللوائح المتعلقة بالذكاء الاصطناعي وتحترم حقوق الإنسان وتمنع العنف الجنساني وتحمي حقوق النساء والفتيات. النقطة الثانية: كيف يمكن للبرلمانات أن تعزز قدراتها على التشريع ومناصرة حوكمة الذكاء الاصطناعي حوكمة شاملة وعادلة. النقطة الثالثة: ما الذي يمكن أن تفعله البرلمانات لضمان مشاركة المرأة على قدم المساواة في تطوير تكنولوجيات الذكاء الاصطناعي وحوكمتها. النقطة الرابعة والأخيرة: كيف يمكن للبرلمانات أن تطالب الهيئات الدولية والشركات الخاصة بإعطاء الأولوية لتكنولوجيات الذكاء الاصطناعي التي تراعي المنظور الجنساني وتحترم حقوق الإنسان وتعزز المساواة بين الجنسين على الصعيد العالمي. وسأعطي الآن الكلمة للحضور، وستقتصر مدة كل مداخلة على 3 دقائق، على أن يكون مفهوماً أننا سنتمكن من مواصلة مناقشتنا حتى نهاية الوقت المخصص لنا. والفكرة هي أن يتيح هذا الاجتماع الفرصة لإجراء تبادل الآراء. وفي هذا المقام أود أن ألفت انتباه الجميع إلى أنه قد يتعين تقليص مدة كل مداخلة إلى 2 دقيقتين إذا اقتضى عدد المداخلات المسجلة كثيرة. وأدعوكم إلى تحديد اسمكم واسم الوفد في بداية مداخلتكم حتى يتسنى تدوينها في محضر الجلسة. إذن نبدأ في إعطاء الكلمة ونبدأ في المناقشة. أعطي الكلمة لأول متدخلة رئيسة مجلس الأمة في زيمبابوي مدام شينومونا، السيدة شينومونا، مجلس الشيوخ في زيمبابوي.
Thank you very much. Madam President, dear colleagues, Resolution number 5 urges legislative action to prevent the creation and distribution of deepfake intimate images, as well as the distribution of AI-generated content that propagates hate speech or incites violence. Parliament passed the Cyber and Data Protection Act, Chapter 1207, which became law in 2021. This act is not just a legal framework. It is a beacon of hope and protection, especially for the rights of women in our society. In an era where technology permits every aspect of our lives, the Cyber and Data Protection Act serves as a guardian of women's digital rights for women who are often disproportionately affected by online harassment and cyber crimes. The Act provides a much-needed shield. It acknowledges the increased risk of online violence to which women are exposed and criminalizes the use of information and communication technology to commit such acts. One of the most significant aspects of this act is its emphasis on consent and the protection of personal data. Women who are frequently targeted for their personal information can now feel more secure, knowing that their data is protected by stringent laws. The Act ensures that any data processing is done with explicit consent and thereby safeguards women from unauthorized use of their personal information. The establishment of the Cybersecurity Center and the Data Protection Authority under this Act provides a robust mechanism for monitoring and enforcing these protections. This body is tasked with ensuring that the digital space is safe and secure for all users, particularly vulnerable groups like women. The Act also addresses the issue of cyberbullying and cyber harassment, which are rampant in the digital age. By criminalizing these behaviors, it sends a strong message that such actions will not be tolerated. This is a crucial step in creating a safer online environment where women can express themselves freely without fear of harassment. I thank you, Madam.
شكراً السيدة الرئيسة على هذه المداخلة القيمة. والآن ننتقل إلى المتحدثة الثانية من تايلاندا.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We cannot refute that the rapid technological advancement, such as artificial intelligence, come with both benefits and harm to humanity across the globe. We have observed that the use of AI in various fields, such as law enforcement, healthcare, and public services, can empower or marginalize women, depending on how these technologies are designed and deployed. One area of concern is the underrepresentation of women in the development of AI technology. In cases where women are included from the design and decision-making processes, AI algorithms may inadvertently reflect gender bias, which in turn can affect how women and girls are treated in both the public and private sector. Furthermore, AI-driven misinformation and online harassment disproportionately affect women, especially those in politics and public roles. These digital violence pose a direct threat to the safety, dignity, and participation of women in democratic processes. It is essential that we advocate for inclusive AI policy, the priority gender equity. In addition to avoid gender bias, the National AI Relevance Committee to be established should be equity, composed of male and female, in order to design inclusive AI which ensure the equal opportunity, participations, and in all output. Thank you very much.
شكرا لك على هذه المداخلة واحترام الوقت. إذن ننتقل إلى الهند. الزميلة من الهند.
Thank you.
تفضل. الزميل. تفضل.
Honorable Chairperson and distinguished delegates, Dr. Sasmit Patra from India. Artificial intelligence is rapidly transforming societies, shaping economies, and influencing global governance. While AI represents significant opportunities, its impact on democracy, human rights, and the rule of law requires careful consideration, especially from a gender perspective. In many cases, AI systems risk in reinforcing existing gender biases and inequalities, and therefore addressing these challenges through inclusive and responsible AI governance is essential. AI holds significant potential to empower women by providing opportunities in education, employment, healthcare, and entrepreneurship. Madam Chairperson, the Women in AI mission in India is an example of such initiatives, offering skill development, training, and mentorship to women, especially those re-entering the task force and workforce after career breaks. Programs like Career Back to Women, CB2 Women, launched by IIT Madras, reskill women in AI, enabling them to re-enter technical professions. AI also plays a pivotal AI pillar under the India AI mission emphasizes the need for comprehensive governance frameworks that balance AI innovation with citizen safeguards. Global discussions like the one we are having today and those in the recently concluded Global Digital Compact are crucial for establishing gender-inclusive governance frameworks that promote gender equality and prevent AI from reinforcing existing inequalities. In conclusion, Honorable Chairperson, distinguished delegates, AI offers unparalleled opportunities to advance democracy, human rights, and gender equality only if it is developed and governed inclusively. India's initiatives such as reskilling women in AI and promoting the use of gender disaggregated data demonstrate the nation's commitment to leveraging AI for gender equality. By fostering responsible and inclusive AI development, we can ensure that these technologies serve the common good. I thank you, ma'am.
شكرا على المداخلة والتجربة الهند. باسم المنتدى أشكر الزملاء الرجال على الحضور لإدلاء بآرائهم في هذا الموضوع المهم. والآن ننتقل إلى رواندا. الزميلة من رواندا.
Thank you for allowing me to share with you what Rwanda is doing about artificial intelligence. Under the leadership of His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of Rwanda, my country is committed to promote gender equality in all spheres of life. Rwanda, with female majority in parliament, with 63.75% in the Chamber of Deputies and 53.8% in the Senate, as highlighted by our chairperson, Senator Cynthia. The government of Rwanda has established the National Artificial Intelligence Policy, which serves as a roadmap to enable Rwanda to harness the benefits of artificial intelligence and mitigate its risks. This policy also seeks to address gender digital divide, which may limit women's ability to participate fully towards building an equitable knowledge-based society. Honorable Chairperson, dear colleagues, in Rwanda, women and men are both involved in technologies projects without any form of discrimination. Digital and mobile technologies have enormous potential for women's empowerment by providing them with opportunities to find and share information, access educational and health services, generate income, interact, collaborate, network, and their voices heard. In Rwanda, women are included in the digital ecosystem as innovators, designers, developers, beyond simply using or accessing technology to improve their daily lives. In order to prevent any form of interference between artificial intelligence, democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, the Parliament of Rwanda adopted the law number 60 of 22nd August 2018 on prevention and punishment of cybercrimes. In conclusion, Rwanda is set to become a hub for AI research in Africa, and in this regard, it has established a strong AI ecosystem as highlighted, including the establishment of the Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution. I thank you for your kind attention.
شكرا للزميلة من رواندا على هذه المداخلة. إذا ننتقل الآن إلى السعودية. الزميلة من السعودية.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be amongst you today and have a chance to share our views on the crucial subject at hand. I want to start by reciting a very interesting quote I read in an article. Please note that 2 words have been changed to fit the purpose. Quote, if you're a majority, you still get judged and evaluated by humans. If you're a minority, you get judged by algorithms. This is so true with what we are witnessing these days with AI. AI presents opportunities and challenges for democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Balancing innovation with ethical considerations and robust regulatory frameworks is essential to harness its potential while safeguarding fundamental rights and democracy and democratic values. Ongoing dialogue among stakeholders, including policymakers, technologists, and civil society, is crucial to navigate these complexities. Saudi Arabia is highly protective with women's rights and cybersecurity. His Royal Highness, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, announced on the 3rd of October 2 global initiatives in the Global Cybersecurity Forum. The first, women empowerment in cybersecurity. which are among the biggest challenges facing the global community in this vital and important sector. The global initiatives instated by His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, aim to advance collective action and unify international efforts around these issues by increasing global awareness among decision makers regarding the growing threats and strengthening the global response through the international cooperation around addressing the challenges that underlie the low participation of women and the growing shortage of specialists in the field of cybersecurity, thereby strengthening cybersecurity globally and lessening bias and harassment against women. The WEC initiative is a response to the urgent need to address the global shortage of cybersecurity professionals, particularly in the light of the rapidly evolving cybersecurity and the growing significance of cybersecurity in all supporting sectors. More than half of institutions and organizations lack specialized security human resources, while the percentage of women working at these organizations does not exceed 25%, making empowering women a key workforce priority. Therefore, a very effective step is through the Ministry of Education, adding new curricula and updating current curricula to computer science and AI specializations will focus on promoting understanding of AI technologies and their implications for gender rights. They can add hands-on training on AI ethics and gender issues and campaign to draw in more female specialists in the field by encouraging initiatives that promote women's participation in AI development and leadership roles in tech. Lastly, the Council of Family Affairs in Saudi Arabia initiated a national plan for women within its national strategy for families, which includes a large array of initiatives, one of which is an extensive review of all legislative issues concerning families, including protecting women in cybersecurity. This initiative studies the main framework and the current practices to be able to see the reality of what is being implemented in general and to locate the gaps and how to overcome obstacles and challenges in cybersecurity to find the proper solutions as well as raise awareness among society. These steps will ensure that all sectors will align their efforts to achieve the necessary objectives at hand. Thank you.
شكرا. أطلب منكم احترام الوقت من فضلكم. شكرا الزميلة على المداخلة القيمة وعلى تجربة بلدها. إذن الآن ننتقل إلى الإمارات. هناك إعلان لدينا 20 متدخل. أعلن أن قائمة المتدخلين مغلقة وهذا لضيق الوقت. والآن ننتقل إلى الإمارات.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السيدات والسادة، إن الذكاء الاصطناعي يحمل في طياته إمكانيات كبيرة لتحسين الخدمات وتعزيز رفاهية المجتمعات، لكنه في الوقت ذاته يمكن أن يمثل تهديداً على الديمقراطية وحقوق الإنسان، وخاصة حقوق المرأة، فقد يؤدي الاستخدام غير المسؤول لتقنيات الذكاء الاصطناعي في اتخاذ قرارات حكومية أو قضائية تعزز التمييز أو التحيز، خاصة إذا لم يتم تصميم هذه التقنيات بطريقة شفافة وعادلة. وبالنسبة للنساء فقد يؤدي توظيف الذكاء الاصطناعي إلى تفاقم التمييز بين الجنسين إذا لم يتم تصميم تقنياته بطريقة تراعي احتياجاتهن وتحميهن من أي شكل من أشكال التمييز. وعليه نود التأكيد على ضرورة أن يتضمن مشروع القرار الدعوة لضمان أن تكون تقنيات الذكاء الاصطناعي آمنة وعادلة وشفافة للحفاظ على حقوق الإنسان والديمقراطية. السيدات والسادة، أود أن أشارككم جهود دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة في مجال توظيف الذكاء الاصطناعي بشكل آمن وعادل وشفاف، حيث تسعى دولة الإمارات لأن تكون رائدة في مجال الذكاء الاصطناعي على المستوى العالمي. فقد أطلقت الدولة استراتيجيات ومبادرات متعددة لتعزيز استخدام الذكاء الاصطناعي في مختلف القطاعات بشكل مسؤول ومستدام. ففي عام 2017 أطلقت الإمارات استراتيجية للذكاء الاصطناعي التي تهدف إلى تعزيز الابتكار في هذا المجال واستخدام الذكاء الاصطناعي لتحسين جودة الحياة وتطوير الخدمات الحكومية. وإلى جانب ذلك تركز الإمارات على ضمان أن تكون تقنيات الذكاء الاصطناعي آمنة ومتصلة بالقيم الإنسانية، وذلك من خلال تطوير سياسات تشريعية وأخلاقية لضمان الاستخدام المسؤول لهذه التقنيات، حيث أطلقت دولة الإمارات ميثاق تطوير واستخدام الذكاء الاصطناعي، والذي يغطي مبادئ تعزيز الوعي في مجال الذكاء الاصطناعي من أجل مستقبل يشمل الجميع، والاستفادة من تقدم الذكاء الاصطناعي بما يضمن الوصول التكنولوجي العادل لجميع فئات المجتمع بما فيهن النساء. إن دولة الإمارات استحدثت أول وزارة للذكاء الاصطناعي في العالم بهدف قيادة وتنسيق الجهود الوطنية في هذا المجال وتطوير السياسات والاستراتيجيات الخاصة بالذكاء الاصطناعي. ختاماً، أود أن أشير لجهود دولة الإمارات بتشكيل مجلس الإمارات للذكاء الاصطناعي، والذي يسعى مجلس الإمارات للذكاء الاصطناعي إلى تنفيذ استراتيجية الإمارات للذكاء الاصطناعي وتعزيز مكانتنا كدولة رائدة عالمياً في قطاع الذكاء الاصطناعي بحلول 2031. شكراً على حسن الاستماع.
شكراً للزميلة من الإمارات. والآن ننتقل إلى جنوب إفريقيا.
Thanks for affording South Africa an opportunity to add its voice in this important gathering. Madam Vice President, the world continues to grapple with a significant gender equality problem, and the emergence of artificial intelligence systems holds the potential to perpetuate and exacerbate this issue. Of particular concern is technology-facilitated gender-based violence, a rapidly spreading problem that evolves with each new technological advancement. This not only poses serious challenges to digital governance, but also creates a persistent lag in the adaptation of laws and policies to effectively tackle this issue. The United Nations Women 2024 report paints a stark reality. A survey encompassing women journalists from 125 countries revealed that the staggering 73% have fallen victims to online violence in the course of their work. This serves as a reminder that the impact of technology-facilitated gender-based violence is pervasive and affects individuals across diverse professions and regions. As legislatures, it is our responsibility to confront this pressing issue. We must take proactive measures to address the use of artificial intelligence in perpetuating gender-based violence and ensure that our laws and policies effectively keep pace with these evolving challenges. In this regard, South Africa proposes the following amendments: calls on parliaments to, through legislative action, prioritize the prevention, elimination, and responses to all forms of technology-facilitated gender-based violence and discrimination. These include enhanced content moderation, accessible and effective reporting systems, and the establishment of content removal processes compliant with international human rights law. And lastly, we would also like to urge parliaments to enact legislation prohibiting the distribution of non-consensual explicit images and providing recourse to victims. I thank you, Madam President.
شكراً على احترام الوقت، وكما أشكرك على هذه الاقتراحات التي ستؤخذ في التقرير الأخير. ننتقل الآن إلى ماسودينيا الشمالية.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Advana Pasholi. I'm representing the Assembly of North Macedonia. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, Today, as we gather to discuss the impact of artificial intelligence on democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, it is vital to examine these issues through a gender lens. AI is not just a tool for progress, it is a reflection of the values, biases, and priorities of its creators. If we fail to incorporate gender-sensitive perspectives into its development and governance, AI risks entrenching existing inequalities and creating new ones that disproportionately affect women and marginalized communities. Studies reveal that nearly 44% of AI models demonstrate gender bias and 25% show both gender and racial bias. Consider the financial industry, where AI systems determining credit worthiness have replicated historical patterns of discrimination, such as granting lower credit limits to women. A woman may be denied a loan not because of her actual financial status, but due to algorithmic assumptions that women are less economically stable, a pattern that is often rooted in outdated and prejudiced data. But these impacts are not limited to financial services. Women working in politics, activism, risk assessments, and equality impact evaluate. Is that my time is past? Thank you.
شكرا.
I will stop here then. Thank you.
شكرا على إبراز خواطر الذكاء الاصطناعي. إذا ننتقل الآن إلى روسيا. مدام سيدة كاريلوفا.
Уважаемый председатель форума, уважаемые коллеги, мир сталкивается с новыми вызовами и угрозами, климатическими, экологическими, а также стремительно развивающимися технологиями и киберугрозами. Возрастает влияние новых цифровых технологий на формирование настоящего и будущего. Поиск ответов на эти вызовы актуален как никогда. Мы убедились в этом и на 4-м Евразийском женском форуме, который проходил под председательством председателя Совета Федерации Валентины Матвиенко. Форум прошел недавно в Санкт-Петербурге. Тема доверия глобального сотрудничества объединила 2000 участниц из 126 стран мира и 21 международной организации. Участники обсуждали развитие высокотехнологических производств, участие в них женщин, женские инициативы зеленой экономики, а также вопросы сохранения здоровья и культурного многообразия. Тема развития искусственного интеллекта, его влияние на жизнь людей стала сквозной в повестке всего форума. Благодаря развитию технологий, в том числе искусственного интеллекта, с 2022 года в России практически в 3 раза сокращен перечень профессий, на которых ограничивается применение труда женщин. Женщинам стали доступны более 350 профессий, на которых они могут работать без ущерба для здоровья. Важно отметить и возрастающую роль международных профессиональных сообществ женщин в сфере высоких технологий. Так, по инициативе женщин России активно работает Международный совет по поддержке и развитию женщин в промышленности и технологиях с участием представителей 16 стран. В целях консолидации усилий мировой женской общественности, выработки современных подходов к решению глобальных проблем, участницами 4-го Евразийского женского форума было предложено разработать международные программы, направленные на устранение гендерного неравенства в доступе к цифровым технологиям и онлайн-образованию, поддержку женщин в высокотехнологичных секторах, включая сферу STEM-образования, развитие онлайн-платформ для женщин с целью обмена профессиональным опытом. Убеждена, что эти предложения будут поддержаны и женщинами-парламентариями. Сфера новых технологий искусственного интеллекта, на наш взгляд, должна строиться на деполитизированном подходе на благо всего человечества, стать пространством для конструктивного и взаимовыгодного сотрудничества. Благодарю вас за внимание.
شكرا لك السيدة من روسيا. والآن ننتقل إلى جيبوتي.
Madame la Présidente de séance, Mesdames et Messieurs, aujourd'hui nous abordons un sujet d'une importance cruciale, le rôle des parlements dans la régulation de l'intelligence artificielle l'IA pour garantir le respect des droits humains fondamentaux et plus particulièrement la protection des droits des femmes et des filles. Dans un monde de plus en plus numérique et où l'intelligence artificielle fait sa percée, il est impératif que nos institutions soient à la hauteur des défis posés par ces technologies. Mesdames et Messieurs, cette nouvelle technologie est appelée à se développer et à se perfectionner davantage. Il est évident que son utilisation soulage les usagers dans l'exécution de ces diverses tâches. Ceci dit, l'utilisation démocratisée de l'intelligence artificielle soulève aujourd'hui quelques questionnements. En ma qualité d'élue et de femme, je m'interroge sur comment l'intelligence artificielle peut remédier aux inégalités de genre et quel rôle peut ou doit jouer le Parlement dans sa réglementation. En ce sens, il me semble que le projet de résolution en discussion devrait mettre l'accent sur la nécessité de poser un cadre législatif pour encadrer l'utilisation de l'IA. Sur un tout autre aspect, je reste convaincue aussi que l'introduction de l'intelligence artificielle dans les travaux internes des parlements va générer un gain de temps considérable pour les tenues de commissions et des séances plénières. C'est dans ce même ordre d'idées que notre Parlement a introduit la formation et le renforcement des capacités des parlementaires sur les enjeux de ces nouvelles technologies que constitue l'IA. Notre pays, Djibouti, a créé en 2015 une agence nationale des systèmes d'information de l'État, appelée ANSIE, à travers la loi portant création de l'ANSIE du 11 juillet 2015. Laquelle agence est chargée de réaliser les orientations définies par la stratégie nationale du e-gouvernement dans le but d'améliorer la qualité, l'efficacité, la fiabilité du service rendu par les systèmes d'information. Entre autres, cette agence a concrétisé le projet de digitalisation des pièces d'identité avec le système de biométrie, un procédé inviolable qui permet de lutter contre les fausses identités et qui permet in fine d'assurer une meilleure protection et de sécurité des données à caractère personnel. En conclusion, il est impératif de garantir la participation équitable des femmes dans l'IA, dans l'intelligence artificielle, en les impliquant dans le développement et la gouvernance des technologies d'IA, afin de garantir que leur voix soit entendue. Dans nos parlements respectifs, il est important de créer un groupe de réflexion et d'action chargé des orientations concrètes sur la mise en œuvre responsable de l'intelligence artificielle dans nos travaux. Il est tout aussi important de promouvoir, d'encourager les femmes et les filles dans les domaines de technologie et d'ingénierie. Je vous remercie.
شكراً. شكراً للزميلة من جيبوتي. والآن ننتقل إلى زامبيا. الزميلة من زامبيا.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairperson. I'm Jacqueline Sabao, Member of Parliament from the Parliament of Zambia. Madam Chairperson, the rise of artificial intelligence and its rapid application across political, economic, and social domains presents MSF benefits to society and the development sector. However, empirical evidence shows that recent advances in AI are significantly impacting democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, and may disproportionately affect women and girls. For example, women in politics were targeted by MS online abuse and harassment during the execution of their mandate and during electoral campaigns and elections. The Zambian situation, notwithstanding AI's immense benefits in society and the development sector, empirical evidence suggests that recent advances in AI is not only affecting democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, but is increasingly affecting women and girls disproportionately, including parliamentarians. This is exacerbated by the fact that the world has a gender equality problem and AI innovation mirrors existing gender biases in society. The negative effects of AI on female parliamentarians. The impact of AI on female parliamentarians in Zambia is similar to the challenges their peers face in other parliaments, particularly in developing countries where resources are scarce. This impact manifests in different political, social, and economical spheres. Firstly, in terms of their participation in virtual platforms, internet and social media, Zambian female parliamentarians have been exposed to increased online abuse and violence in form of cyberbullying and other cyber crimes. This threat has potential to hinder them from engaging in public debates and voicing their political opinions and aspirations publicly. For example, while politicians in the country have leveraged information, communication technologies to influence citizens, women who have expressed interest in politics have experienced cyberbullying, which has discouraged men from fully participating in politics. However, the Zambian parliament has come up with some initiatives. The Zambian parliament acknowledges the fact that emerging technologies and innovations are integral to the delivery of parliament functions in the digital era. To this end, Parliament has continued to embrace emerging technologies and innovations and is constantly applying and exploring ways in which more technologies can be integrated into its operation, not only to make Parliament more transparent and efficient in its work, but also to ensure a responsible development, deployment, and use of AI in a way that promotes gender equality and inclusion. This is to address the challenges women and other marginalized groups in society face in the light of AI advances. Thank you so much.
شكراً. شكرا للزميلة من زامبيا. والآن ننتقل إلى إيران. الزميلة من إيران.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. الهام آزاد هستم از پارلمان جمهوری اسلامی ایران. در ابتدای جلسه فرصت را مغتنم می‌شمارم تا توجه حضار را به وضعیت مردم مظلوم غزه و لبنان جلب نمایم. در شرایطی که ما از مشارکت بیشتر زنان در هوش مصنوعی صحبت می‌کنیم، رژیم اشغالگر و نسل‌کش اسرائیل با استفاده از سلاح‌های مبتنی بر هوش مصنوعی و فناوری‌های هوشمند برای کشتار کودکان، زنان و دختران استفاده می‌کند. جمهوری اسلامی ایران در قوی‌ترین لحن این رفتارها را محکوم می‌کند و از بقیه کشورها نیز می‌خواهد این محکومیت را انجام دهند. جمهوری اسلامی ایران اهمیت بسیاری برای موضوع حقوق زنان و فراهم نمودن فرصت‌های برابر برای زنان و دختران قائل است. ما معتقدیم در هر پدیده نوظهوری باید مسائل مربوط به حقوق زنان و دختران مورد توجه قرار گیرد. بنابراین برای اینکه بتوانیم به صورتی شفاف و بدون ابهام این مسئله را در سیاست‌گذاری‌ها اعمال کنیم، باید از بکار بردن مفاهیم مبهم خودداری نماییم و به صورت مشخص به زنان و دختران اشاره نماییم. در این خصوص ما پیشنهاد می‌کنیم به جای عبارت جندر پرسپکتیو از عبارت شفافتر with the special attention to women and girls استفاده گردد و بر شکاف جنسیتی میان زنان و مردان در بهره‌مندی از هوش مصنوعی و قوانین در پارلمان‌ها به صورت ایمن‌سازی بستر فعالیت و بهره‌مندی زنان و دختران از هوش مصنوعی تمرکز گردد. بدیهی است تضمین حقوق زنان و دختران در حوزه‌های مربوط به هوش مصنوعی نیازمند مشارکت فعال و فراگیر زنان از همه جوامع اعم از توسعه یافته و در حال توسعه در فرآیندهای مربوط به توسعه هوش مصنوعی است. این مسئله در درجه اول نیازمند دسترسی همه زنان و دختران به تکنولوژی‌های نوین و همچنین مشارکت برابر همه زنان از همه جوامع در تکمیل و تدوین هوش مصنوعی است. در خصوص مفهوم هنجارهای اجتماعی مربوط به زنان تأکید می‌کنیم که هر جامعه متناسب با فرهنگ و ارزش‌های خود هنجارهایی را در طول زمان ایجاد نموده است که نمی‌تواند با یک نگاه خارج از متن خارجی و مبتنی بر ارزش‌های غیر بومی آنها را منفی یا مثبت تفسیر نماید. از این جهت ایران در لحاظ شدن تنوع فرهنگی در حوزه زنان و انعکاس آن بر حوزه‌های مرتبط با هوش مصنوعی تأکید دارد. با تشکر.
شكرا للزميلة من إيران. حقيقة من بين خواطر الذكاء الاصطناعي استعمالها ضد النساء والفتيات في الحروب وفي النزاعات، وهذا الموضوع سنتطرق إليه عشية هذا المساء على 2:30. والآن ننتقل إلى بوسنيا
Ladies and wonderful gentlemen present here today in this wonderful occasion to speak about important themes, I would have a couple issues that I would like to mention. As we are talking about artificial intelligence, we know that it's a complex subject, and despite the numerous efforts, there is no agreed upon definition of the artificial intelligence. It's crucial to strike the right balance between technological development and the protection of the human rights. There are two key points I wish to emphasize regarding how we can ensure human rights in the relation of the artificial intelligence. First point is legal legislation, and the second point, which might be more important to be mentioned than the first one, is education. European Parliament, based on the AI legislation, passed AI legislation in March 2024. And at the level of the Council of Europe, which of Bosnia and Herzegovina is a member also, there are serious recommendations when it comes to the AI. Knowledge or education is essential, particularly for women. In this regard, the promotion of AI literacy should be a priority in government institutions, human rights protection structures, judiciary, law enforcement agencies, and also in the public and the media. Also, educational institutions mustn't be overlooked either. To conclude, based on Bosnia and Herzegovina's experience, it's important to have robust legal framework and a strong commitment to promoting AI literacy. Thank you very much for the occasion to speak in front of such important audience, and I'm looking forward for the conclusion during today. Thank you very much.
شكرا على احترام الوقت وعلى المداخلة القيمة. إذا ننتقل الآن إلى بنين. الزميلة من بنين. Le Bénin. Le Bénin.
Oui, merci Madame la Présidente. Le Bénin remercie l'Union interparlementaire pour l'importance de ce thème sur l'impact de l'intelligence artificielle sur la démocratie, l'état de droit et les droits de l'homme. Le Bénin déclare que l'intelligence artificielle offre des opportunités immenses pour améliorer les sociétés et particulièrement les femmes, parce que depuis quelques années, le Bénin a fait des bons remarquables en ce qui concerne la fracture numérique. Et nous observons sur le terrain que les femmes sont majoritairement plus visées, sont plus victimes que les hommes. Donc, nous souhaitons que l'intelligence artificielle intègre davantage les pays en développement et les perspectives de genre, parce que nous n'avons pas fait autant d'efforts pour lutter contre les discriminations, pour que l'intelligence artificielle nous plonge encore dans cette discrimination. Nous devons donc veiller à ce que l'IA soit développée et utilisée de manière responsable et éthique. Nous avons souhaité participer à cette session pour exprimer le besoin du Bénin d'intégrer beaucoup plus d'éthique et d'intégrer les voix des pays en développement. C'est vrai, nous parlons du monde, mais les pays du Sud le monde doit tenir compte des pays du Sud dans cette perspective-là. Je vous remercie.
شكرا للزميلة من البنين. ننتقل الآن إلى فلسطين.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am here to bring to your attention again the extremely urgent real-life case of the use of AI, autonomous weapon system, against the Palestinian people in illegally occupied Palestine, particularly in Gaza and the West Bank. It is apparent that a number of states, including many of those who claim to champion the efforts to regulate and prohibit these systems, are more comfortable speaking in theoretical terms, but reluctant to mention the real-life case of Gaza in illegally occupied Palestine, which had been widely reported by the media, UN experts, and NGOs worldwide. This is of concern not just for Palestine, but to all states, as these systems have started being exported by Israel and will proliferate. We warned governments that AI power systems are likely to be used to commit and accelerate war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide, and to be tested on the populations of the global south. Our pleas to stop this trend fell on deaf ears. We are now seeing the direct consequences of the failure to establish new international rules. We are now witnessing an automated genocide, an AI-powered genocide. In 1 year, the Israeli colonial power has killed more than 42,175 Palestinians. 72% of them are women and children. The Human Rights Council adopted a resolution on April condemning Israel's use of AI in commission of international crimes. The primary reason of the large number of civilians killed in Gaza is due to the widespread use of systems called Hasbara, Lavender, and the Gospel. In 2023 also, Amnesty International issued its report titled Automated Apartheid, and explaining how these technologies, including systems like Red Wolf and Blue Wolf, are used exclusively to persecute the Palestinian people, to severely restrict their freedom of movement, and violating basic human rights, all their human rights. We echo Amnesty's calls and urge parliaments to question business and governments worldwide and to regulate and ban the sale of surveillance technologies that contribute to this automated apartheid, to the illegal occupation, and ban the development of oaths that targets humans. Final remarks, Madam Chair. The draft resolution lacks to tackle this dangerous topic. Even in paragraph 9, it is mentioning the international and regional initiatives, but not the treaties and international obligations. And it is mentioning ethical standards, but not legal standards. Therefore, the draft resolution should highlight international obligations, including autonomous weapons, serious violations of IHL, HRL, and international crimes. And I thank you.
شكرا الزميلة من فلسطين. سيتم أخذ بعين الاعتبار في التقرير الأخير بأن حقيقة من بين خواطر الذكاء الاصطناعي استعمالها في الحروب، وخاصة بما يجري في فلسطين وفي البلدان الأخرى. والآن ننتقل إلى المغرب. المغرب.
شكرا سيدة الرئيسة. اليوم نعرف أن الذكاء الاصطناعي يحمل الكثير من الإنجازات في مجال تحليل المعطيات، في مجال تيسير الوصول إلى المعلومة إلى غير ذلك، ولكننا نعرف أيضا أن هنالك مخاطر حقيقية للذكاء الاصطناعي تتعلق أساسا بتحريف النتائج وتزوير البيانات وتقليد الأصوات كما قيل قبل قليل، ويمكن أن يستعمل أيضا في تعميق المخاطر في مجال السلم وفي مجال بؤر التوتر. ولكن اليوم الذكاء الطبيعي البشري أو ما يسمى بالذكاء التقليدي مطالب بأن يجتهد أكثر، لأننا لا نوقف التقدم، ولكن يمكن أن نعالج النتائج السيئة المترتبة عن سوء استعمال تقدم تكنولوجي، خصوصا عندما يتعلق الأمر بمجال الديمقراطية وحقوق الإنسان وحقوق النساء تحديدا. لهذا وفي هذا السياق أقترح في إطار تجويد المشروع المتعلق بهذا المجال، نقترح في هذا السياق أن تكون هنالك دعوة إلى تطوير آليات لرصد ومعالجة التجهيزات، بحيث تكون التقنيات متوفرة ومراقبة فيما يتعلق أساساً بالصور النمطية الموجهة ضد النساء. أيضاً تشديد على أهمية توفير فرص متكافئة للنساء والفتيات في مجال العلوم والتكنولوجيا، خصوصاً أنه ثبت اليوم في العالم أن هنالك عبقرية نسائية صاعدة في مجال العلوم والرياضيات أثبتتها نتائج البكالوريا في العالم ونتائج الجامعات، حيث تألقت النساء ويمكن أن يتم إدماجهن في مجال الصناعات التكنولوجية الجديدة. ثانياً، هنالك اقتراح إنشاء آليات رقابية برلمانية تراعي وتحارب هذا البعد الجنسي المميز عندما يتعلق الأمر بسياساتنا العمومية خصوصا ارتباطا بالذكاء الاصطناعي. لا تفوتني هنا الفرصة أيضا أن أشير إلى أن للمغرب بلدي مجهودات في هذا السياق، فهنالك مكتسبات تشريعية هامة في مجال الحصول على المعلومة وفي مجال حماية الحياة الشخصية للأفراد، وكذلك تم إنشاء جامعتين رفيعتي المستوى فيما يتعلق بالذكاء الاصطناعي، وأدرجت العلوم الإنسانية خصوصاً السيكولوجيا والسوسيولوجيا في مختلف مراحل التعليم الجامعي لإعداد شبابنا وشاباتنا إلى الانخراط بشكل أفضل في مجال التقدم التكنولوجي ومواجهة المخاطر المترتبة عنه. وشكراً.
شكرا من المغرب. والآن ننتقي إلى الصين.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, I'm Yi Tong from China. As we gather here today, we are witnessing the rapid evolution of artificial intelligence, a force that holds immense potential to drive economic growth, social progress, and the advancement of human civilization. Women, as pivotal contributors to both material and spiritual progress, are integral to this journey. AI's impact on women is multifaceted, offering a mix of opportunities and challenges. On the bright side, AI brings new opportunities. First, it has spawned new job sectors and work patterns, providing women with a broader array of career paths. Moreover, it's liberating women from the burden of household chores and placing a premium on the emotional labor that women excel at, a labor that machines struggle to replicate. This shift is instrumental in dismantling gender barriers in traditional professions. Second, AI is enhancing educational prospects. Intelligent educational platforms are offering women tailored, accessible learning materials, empowering them to boost their knowledge and skills, thus sharpening their professional edge. Third, AI is making political participation more accessible for women. The Internet and AI are enabling them to participate more extensively and conveniently in public affairs, amplifying their influence via the Internet. However, challenges also deserve our attention. Firstly, the risk of gender discrimination is on the rise. Algorithmic bias and prejudices in data sets can lead to widespread gender discrimination against women in the digital field. Particularly concerning is the current underrepresentation of women in the tech sector, where men outnumber women significantly. Over time, this could further skew the gender perspective in the development of new technologies, exacerbating gender inequality. Secondly, the digital divide is widening. Women in less developed regions in particular may struggle to keep pace with AI's demands due to a lack of digital literacy and resources, constraining their growth and highlighting the digital gap. Thirdly, privacy and security are at stake. Women are potentially more vulnerable to privacy breaches and security threats when engaging with AI products and services, such as the misuse of personal data, which can inflict greater harm. To harness AI as a catalyst for gender equality in the AI era. We must ensure that women are not just participants,
الوقت من فضلكم.
but also
الوقت من فضلكم. إنهاء المداخلة. شكرا.
Okay, I'm confident that with the concerned efforts of all stakeholders, AI can be a powerful ally in elevating women's quality of life, serving the broader economic and social development of humanity.
من فضلكم.
Okay, thank you.
شكرا للزميلة من الصين. والآن ننتقل إلى كينيا. كينيا. تتفضل الزميلة.
Thank you, Chair.
احترام الوقت من فضلكم.
Sorry. Thank you, Chair. Kenya recognizes that artificial intelligence carries significant benefits that can be leveraged to solve Kenya's most prevalent problems that cuts across various sectors, including health, education, agriculture, finance, and business. Its adoption can grow the country's economy and enable it to partake in the fourth industrial revolution. Across the health sector, AI has been resourceful in the detection of diseases. In agriculture, it has provided means for early detection of crop diseases. In fintech, it has enabled unbanked populations to access fast short-term loans. And in education, it has provided students with personalized learning resources. These benefits have brought excitement around AI. And Kenya is currently in the process of developing a policy around AI, even though we have other legal frameworks dealing with the issue of technology, including cybercrime. However, we also acknowledge the potential disruptive nature of AI in issues such as misinformation, disinformation, technology-facilitated gender-based violence, and finally on the weaponization of AI in politics. Mr. Speaker, this can happen through deepfakes, AI algorithms, and chatbots. And Madam Chair, it may even include manipulating election results through AI. I would want to encourage, Madam Chair, that when I'm looking at the resolutions, that there are proposed amendments that seek to remove the way women are disproportionately affected by AI. Indeed, in various ways, women are disproportionately affected, not just because we are disrepresented in the information technology sector, but because we are not able to access spaces. Physical spaces like this are easier for women to access, or are increasingly becoming easier for women to access, but there is no digital roundtable for women. And those are areas that we need to look at. I thank you.
شكراً على المداخلة وعلى احترام الوقت. والآن ننتقل إلى البرتغال. البرتغال.
Muito obrigada, Sra. Presidente. Ana Santos, represento Portugal, que agradece ao IP o tema trazido a este fórum. Analisando o projeto de resolução numa perspectiva de género em Portugal, importa dizer que são as mulheres as mais expostas e vulneráveis aos avanços da inteligência artificial, sendo evidente que há uma forte probabilidade de as atividades realizadas por mulheres serem substituídas ou auxiliadas por máquinas. Esta é a conclusão da 4ª edição do relatório Estado da Nação, Educação, Emprego e Competências em Portugal, da Fundação José Neves. As mulheres que já enfrentam no país a disparidade salarial de género estão em profissões mais expostas que os homens à inteligência artificial. Como observa o estudo, desenvolvido por um conjunto de investigadores das Universidades do Minho e de Aveiro, as mulheres exercem funções nas quais a inteligência artificial poderá substituir de forma substancial um conjunto significativo de tarefas. Profissões tradicionalmente ocupadas por mulheres, como atendimento ao cliente, saúde e educação, estão entre as mais ameaçadas pela automação. No entanto,
O risco não está apenas na substituição direta por máquinas, mas também na substituição por indivíduos que dominam a tecnologia. Esta é a confirmação de que a revolução da inteligência artificial está a reconfigurar o mercado de trabalho num ritmo acelerado e os dados são alarmantes. Que vias de solução? Primeiramente, as mulheres devem procurar ativamente aprender e aplicar a inteligência artificial nas suas áreas de atuação. Esta será uma forma não só de proteger as suas carreiras, mas também de se posicionarem como líderes. Envolvendo-se mais com a inteligência artificial, as mulheres podem ajudar a moldar o futuro da tecnologia de uma forma que seja mais inclusiva e representativa, garantindo que as ferramentas tecnológicas do futuro reflitam uma sociedade mais justa e equitativa. As mulheres devem ser incentivadas a explorar a inteligência artificial e outras tecnologias emergentes desde cedo, através de iniciativas educacionais que desmistifiquem essas áreas e as tornem mais acessíveis. Termino referindo que a chave para evitar que as mulheres sejam deixadas de lado num futuro dominado pela inteligência artificial reside na educação, na inclusão, na consciencialização sobre a importância de se adaptar às mudanças tecnológicas, na valorização crescente da aprendizagem ao longo da vida e das qualificações, bem como a adaptação ao impacto da digitalização e da inteligência artificial no novo mercado de trabalho que se afigura. Muito obrigada pela vossa atenção.
شكراً على المداخلة وعلى احترام الوقت. ننتقل الآن إلى تونس.
شكراً سيدة الرئيسة. اليوم الذكاء الاصطناعي يوفر عديد الفرص لتحسين نوعية الحياة وأداة الدولة من خلال قوتها وسرعتها. يمكنها أن تحقق الكفاءة والفعالية في عديد المجالات بما في ذلك الصحة والنقل والتعليم والإدارة والخدمات، وكل هذه المجالات تمس مباشرة المرأة. فالتكنولوجيا اليوم هيمنت وسيطرت على أغلب ومعظم جوانب حياتنا، فالذكاء البشري اليوم يقابله أو ربما ينافسه الذكاء الاصطناعي المستغني جزئياً عن البشر، فهي مسألة تؤثر على حياة الإنسان وحقوقه، حيث أصبح يصطدم مباشرة بالحقوق الأساسية للإنسان إيجاباً وسلباً. حاجتنا اليوم هي تطوير الذكاء الاصطناعي مع الحفاظ في نفس الوقت على حقوق الأفراد المنصوص عليها في القانون الدولي لحقوق الإنسان، وذلك بعدم انتهاك خصوصياتهم. لذلك من المهم جداً اليوم البحث في ماهية الذكاء الاصطناعي ومميزاته، مع البحث عن مدى تأثير الذكاء الاصطناعي من التحديات التي يجب أخذها بعين الاعتبار عند التعامل مع الذكاء الاصطناعي الذي يمكن أن يهدد الحق في المساواة ومنع التمييز وانتهاك الحقوق الخاصة، والذي يشكل بدوره تحديات ومخاطر على حقوق الأفراد وحرياتهم ونظام العدالة الذي يحميهم. يمكن أيضاً للذكاء الاصطناعي أن يؤثر على تطوير القانون واستقلالية صنع القرار في السلطة القضائية. لذلك ينبغي أن يكون لدى الجهات القضائية فهم وإدراك كافي للذكاء الاصطناعي الذي يستخدمه، بحيث يتم ضمان ممارسة المسؤوليات فيما يتعلق بالقرارات المتخذة باستخدام هذه التكنولوجيا، وبذلك نضمن المحاكمة العادلة. لذلك مشروع هذا القانون يجب أن يحظى بالإيجاب، حماية للمرأة قيادة واقتصادياً واجتماعياً وسياسياً وثقافياً. تونس رائدة ومناصرة لحقوق المرأة وحمايتها، لذلك ستكون لها دور في التشريع في تعزيز حقوق النساء والفتيات في ظل تطوير الذكاء الاصطناعي. كما أحيطكم علماً في إطار متابعة تنفيذ اللائحة الصادرة عن الدورة 146 للاتحاد البرلماني الدولي الذي انعقد بالبحرين والمتعلقة بالجريمة الإلكترونية المخاطر الجديدة للأمن الدولي، يشرفني إعلامكم أن مجلس نواب الشعب اتخذ العديد من الإجراءات التي من شأنها تفعيل توصيات هذه اللائحة، وقد أفضت هذه الإجراءات إلى انضمام تونس إلى اتفاقية مجلس أوروبا المتعلقة بالجريمة الإلكترونية، وقد صادق مجلس نواب الشعب التونسي بالأغلبية المطلقة على هذه الاتفاقية في شكل قانون أساسي يتعلق بالموافقة على انضمام الجمهورية التونسية إلى اتفاقية مجلس أوروبا المتعلقة بالجريمة الإلكترونية المعتمدة ببودابست في 23 نوفمبر 2001. وشكرا.
شكرا للزميلة من تونس. والآن ننتقل إلى ليبيا.
السلام عليكم. رغم الإيجابيات العديدة التي يقدمها الذكاء الاصطناعي في مجالات متنوعة، إلا أن له جوانب غير أخلاقية تستدعي الانتباه. فعلى سبيل المثال تستخدم إسرائيل الذكاء الاصطناعي في عمليات تستهدف الفلسطينيين، مما يساهم في انتهاك حقوق الإنسان دون احترام لمبادئ القانون الدولي الإنساني. هذه التطبيقات غير الأخلاقية تبرز المخاطر الكامنة في سوء استخدام التكنولوجيا لأغراض تخالف العدالة والمبادئ الإنسانية. استخدمت إسرائيل الهواتف المحمولة وكاميرات المراقبة كأدوات لتعزيز استهدافها الفلسطينيين، مما ساهم في إلحاق أكبر قدر من الضرر وتوسيع نطاق الدمار الذي هذا الاستخدام للتكنولوجيا مكنها من استهداف المدنيين بشكل مباشر، بما في ذلك الأطفال والنساء والرجال العزل، مما يزيد من حدة الانتهاكات ويضاعف معاناة الفئات الأكبر ضعفاً دون أي حماية أو سلاح للدفاع عن أنفسهم. وعليه يجب أن يتم النظر في القانون الإنساني الدولي ليتضمن إجراءات جديدة من شأنها الحد من مخاطر استخدام الذكاء الاصطناعي لاستهداف الشعوب والأفراد وإلحاق أضرار كبيرة بالشعوب التي تضعف مواجهتها للكيانات الكبرى التي تستخدم ضدها أبشع أدوات الذكاء الاصطناعي. شكراً.
شكرا لليبيا على المداخلة وعلى احترام الوقت. إذن لدينا المملكة المتحدة البريطانية. رويوم-يوني.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Pam Cox. I'm a new member of the UK Parliament. I'd like to address my remarks to the new and first legally binding treaty governing the safe use of AI that was signed last month by the UK Secretary of State for Justice. The new framework was agreed by the Council of Europe and other international partners, and it commits parties to collective action to manage AI products and protect the public from potential misuse. The treaty is referred to, in fact, by a number of IPU delegate amendments to the resolution at this assembly. Now, we know that AI is likely to bring significant benefits to us all, but the new convention includes important safeguards against the many risks that we know about, such as the spread of misinformation or the using of biased data, which may prejudice decisions. So the new treaty will ensure that countries monitor its development and ensure any technology is managed within strict parameters. It includes provision to protect the public and their data, human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. Importantly, for the context of our discussion this morning, the treaty calls for AI systems to, quote, respect equality, including gender equality, and the prohibition of discrimination. It also commits countries to act against activities which fall outside of those parameters, to tackle the misuse of AI models which pose a risk to the wider public. The International Bar Association has endorsed the treaty. As the first legally binding international treaty on AI, this convention will ensure that there's a united front across the world to manage the dangers of this technology in line with our shared values. And what's so important for me is that it places human rights at the centre of this endeavour, and through that seeks to safeguard the rights of women and girls. Countries outside the Council of Europe are also being invited to become signatories. And I very much hope this treaty, like this IPU resolution, will help to create new global governance frameworks around AI. Thank you.
شكرا للزميلة. والآن ننتقل إلى تركيا.
Teşekkür ediyorum. Değerli Başkan, değerli milletvekilleri. Öncelikle kendimi tanıtayım. Türkiye heyetinden Nurhayat Altıcı Kayışoğlu ben. Ana Muhalefet Partisi, Cumhuriyet Halk Partisi üyesiyim. Ve bu forumun da yeni üyelerindenim, yeni katılımcılardanım. Öncelikle kadın ve kız çocuklarının haklarının konuşulduğu bu toplantıyı çok önemsediğimi ve atılacak her adımı çok değerli bulduğumu belirtmek istiyorum. Toplumsal cinsiyet eşitliği tam olarak gerçekleşmeden dünyadaki kalkınmanın, sürdürülebilirliğin, barışın sağlanamayacağını ve kadına yönelik her türlü şiddetin sona ermesinin mümkün olmadığını biliyoruz. Yapay zeka toplumsal cinsiyet eşitliğini sağlamak konusunda zihniyet dönüşümü için kullanılabilir ve bizden sonraki nesillerin daha kısa sürede toplumsal cinsiyet eşitliğine ulaşmasını sağlayabiliriz. Yine siber zorbalıktan en çok etkilenen kesimin kadınlar ve çocuklar olduğunu biliyoruz. Bu alanda uluslararası hızlı bir işbirliği ve ortak düzenlemeler gerekiyor. Dijital dünyanın zararlarından kadın ve çocukları korumak ve kadınların yararına kullanımını desteklemek için yasaların ve sözleşmelerin tesisi konusunda biz parlamenterlere sorumluluklar düşüyor. Yapay zeka ile ilgili gelişmelerde algoritmaları insan hakları açısından denetleyecek ortak evrensel ilkelere bağlı kurumların oluşması gerekebilir. Kısa bir iki örnek vermek istiyorum. Örneğin, otonom bir araca yüklenecek algoritma ile ilgili yapılan bir çalışmada insanlara şunu soruyorlar. Bindiğiniz otonom araç öyle bir durumda kalıyor ki ya küçük bir çocuğa çarpacaksınız ya da kendi hayatınızı riske atacaksınız. Hangisini tercih edersiniz? Çoğunluk kendi hayatını tercih ettiğini belirtmiş. Yine bir başka yapay zeka çalışmasında ismini de telaffuz etmek istiyorum. Microsoft'un bir yapay zekası, Tay diye bir yapay zekası attığı tweetlerde maruz kaldığı iletişim neticesinde faşistçe ve sapıkça tweetler atmaya başlamıştı ve bu nedenle de Microsoft tarafından kapatılmak zorunda kalmıştı insan haklarına aykırı içerik öğrendiği için. Bu anlamda kadın ve çocuklar yönünden daha hızlı gelişen ve saniyeler içerisinde bütün dünyaya yayılabilen bu alanın denetim altına alınması ve kadınların lehine kullanımının teşviki içinde bir o kadar hızlı hareket etmek gerekiyor. Ve yine en çok savaşlardan etkilenen kadın ve çocukların da korunması için savaşlar bakımından yapay zekanın, teknolojinin kolaylaştırıcı olarak kullanılması bütün dünya için tehlike arz etmektedir. Bu konulara da dikkat çekmek gerekiyor. Teşekkür ediyorum. Saygılar.
شكرا لتركيا. والآن ننتقل إلى فرنسا المقررة.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. J'interviens effectivement au titre de la France. L'intelligence, un sujet à vigilance. Et en France, nous avons travaillé avec le Haut Conseil à l'égalité qui montre que de nombreuses études démontrent finalement l'accélération d'un triple processus qui est à la fois l'invisibilisation des femmes, à la fois la reproduction des stéréotypes et la diffusion de la violence un peu symbolique ou physique envers les femmes. Et donc, quelques recommandations ont été faites, particulièrement en termes de quotas, et je pense à des quotas, par exemple, de création de contenu réellement fait par les femmes et, par exemple, imposer des quotas de filles dans les filières scientifiques, ce qui permet finalement de travailler à la fois sur la filière et à la fois sur les contenus. Nous avons également profité d'une directive européenne au sein du européenne au sein du projet de loi sécuriser, réguler l'espace numérique, sur lequel nous avons travaillé à obliger les plateformes à retirer des contenus quand il y a des contenus à caractère, par exemple, sexuel, qui sont diffusés sans le consentement, ou alors de retirer des contenus qui représentent des scènes de violence sexuelle. Donc on oblige les plateformes à retirer ces contenus pour protéger la vie des femmes. Et donc ça nous permet d'agir sur ces deux dimensions. C'est la raison pour laquelle je vous demanderai, Madame la rapporteure, peut-être à travers le Forum des femmes, d'appuyer deux amendements que propose la France dans le paragraphe 4, qui invite les parlements à s'assurer que les avancées en matière d'intelligence artificielle ne conduisent pas à une reproduction des discriminations liées aux biais induits par les données d'entraînement et les algorithmes, et à la fois à lutter contre le recul des droits des femmes, et appelle les parlements à prendre des mesures visant à prévenir le risque que l'intelligence artificielle soit utilisée dans le cadre de campagnes de désinformation en vue de tromper, diviser et déstabiliser les sociétés et de fragiliser la démocratie. Je vous remercie.
شكرا للزميلة من فرنسا. والآن ننتقل إلى مصر. أيضا.
شكرا سيادة الرئيسة. ولا يفوتني أن في البداية أشكر رئيس الاتحاد البرلماني الدولي، وشكرا لرئيسة مكتب النساء البرلمانيات سينتيا، والصديقة العزيزة إليمي، وسيادة الأمين العام والسيدة زينة وهيئة المكتب على الجهود المبذولة في دعم النساء وتمثيلهم بصورة عادلة في مختلف الميادين، وعلى الجهود المبذولة في المساواة الجندرية والتصدي ومواجهة التحديات، ومن ضمنها التحدي الهام الذي نطرحه على طاولة المناقشة اليوم، ألا وهو أثر الذكاء الاصطناعي على الديمقراطية وحقوق الإنسان وسيادة القانون. وأرى أنه يجب مراعاة للتحديات التي تزداد مع التقدم الهائل المرتبط بالذكاء الاصطناعي. يجب علينا كعضوات في البرلمانات أن نطالب بضرورة سن تشريعات وقوانين ووضع أطر منظمة لحوكمة استخدام تقنيات الذكاء الاصطناعي لتحجيم آثارها السلبية التي تؤثر على فئات المجتمع كافة وخاصة النساء. بالإضافة إلى ذلك يجب على النساء البرلمانيات ويجب علينا بالاشتراك مع الأعضاء الآخرين العمل سويا على إنشاء مبادرات دولية وإقليمية تدعو إلى تطوير المعايير الأخلاقية وأطر حوكمة للذكاء الاصطناعي، ودعم الجهود التي تبذلها المنظمات الدولية الرئيسية لمساعدة البرلمانيين وغيرهم من الجهات الفاعلة في تطوير الأطر التنظيمية والسياسات، وزيادة التعاون الدولي وإشراك جميع الأطراف لضمان جهد عالمي موحد لتعظيم فوائد الذكاء الاصطناعي للبشرية مع تحجيم مخاطرهم. يجب التعامل مع تأثير الذكاء الاصطناعي على النساء من منظور شامل يضمن تعزيز حقوق الإنسان، حماية الديمقراطية، سيادة القانون. يجب أن تتضمن السياسات والتشريعات التكنولوجيا تدابير خاصة لضمان عدم تهميش أو تمييز النساء وتوفير فرص متساوية وعادلة للجميع في الاستفادة من التكنولوجيا. وشكرا لحسن استماعكم.
شكرا عيدة من مصر. والآن ننتقل إلى كندا. ميشيل، دقيقتين، نطلب منك احترام الوقت من فضلك.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to provide some input into this important discussion. AI can be used to target women in politics, women and human rights defenders, young women activists. They face misogynistic coverage amplified by social media algorithms and biased algorithmic filters. They often face online gender-based violence and harassment exacerbated by AI, such as pornographic and intimate deepfakes, and is used to undermine their reputation and ongoing political engagement as an attempt to send a message that women don't belong in politics and as an attempt to silence them. So this must be recognized, and we need to be cognizant that AI training system often reconfirm gender bias. And it is critical that gender-sensitive AI is incorporated into the training and development of the guidelines. We need legislation, we need regulatory practices, but right from the beginning, we need to make sure that the training, along with the development of guidelines, recognize the gender biases. Thank you so much.
شكرا لكندا. والآن لدينا المتدخلة الثانية من روسيا. لديكم دقيقة واحدة من فضلكم، وهذا لضيق الوقت. تفضلوا روسيا.
Спасибо. Уважаемая госпожа председатель, уважаемые коллеги, прошу поблагодарить за внимание и возможность выступить, а также выразить искренние слова признательности, что поднимается столь важная тема. Я хотела бы высказать предложение, чтобы, когда мы будем вырабатывать решения в нашей резолюции, мы обязательно учли положительный прогрессивный опыт национальных законодательств и опыт международных организаций. В России разработана национальная стратегия развития искусственного интеллекта на период до 2030 года и основной принцип – защита прав и свобод человека. Также в рамках деятельности Межпарламентской ассамблеи Содружества независимых государств я возглавляю комиссию по науке и образованию. И в апреле этого года мы разработали рекомендации по нормативному регулированию использования искусственного интеллекта, включая этические стандарты для исследований и разработок. Также в рамках этой комиссии приняли модельный закон о технологиях искусственного интеллекта. Уважаемые коллеги, вот те предложения, которые сегодня прозвучали, они уже систематизированы и учтены в этих документах. Также в пункте 9 резолюции предлагаем обратиться к парламентам, уделять особое внимание данной теме с учетом тех предложений, которые я озвучила. Благодарю за внимание.
شكرا على المداخلة القيمة. والآن ننتقل إلى المتدخلة الأخيرة من مكسيك. دقيقة من فضلكم. مكسيك.
Muchas gracias, señora presidenta. Nada más compartir que nosotros en México hicimos una legislación muy avanzada que se llama la Ley Olimpia, que es una legislación que busca proteger a las personas de la violencia digital, especialmente en cuanto a la difusión no consentida de contenido sexual íntimo. Esta ley lleva el nombre de Olimpia Coral Mel, una mujer luchadora social que estuvo durante 7 años luchando por su caso. Y esto nos hizo a los legisladores y a las legisladoras aprobar en la legislatura pasada esta ley. La Ley Olimpia tipifica como delito la grabación, la fotografía y la distribución o difusión de contenido sexual íntimo sin el consentimiento de la persona involucrada. Y vamos a decir, la tipificamos como un delito penal y las sanciones pueden llegar de 3 a 6 años en prisión y con multas cuantiosas. Esto puede ocasionar daño psicológico, eso lo evaluamos todas las diputadas. Tiene un impacto en la vida social y las consecuencias legales también, sanciones penales, como ya lo dije, y también daño económico. La Ley Olimpia llegó para quedarse y nosotros de la delegación mexicana podemos compartir el contenido de esta ley para que lo adopten algunos países o la tomen en cuenta en sus legislaciones. Ha surtido un efecto positivo en la comunidad digital porque los desafíos son muchos y sabemos que la IA tiene beneficios, pero los desafíos también se tienen que atender. Los desafíos que tenemos, como es la difusión de contenido sexual, se tienen que regular y penalizar. Es cuanto. Muchas gracias.
شكرا للزميلة من المكسيك. أشكر الجميع على كل المداخلات. بذلك نكون قد وصلنا إلى نهاية مناقشتنا، وأود أن أشكر الجميع على جودة المساهمات المقدمة. وسنشرع الآن أنا والسيدة ريوتون المقررة في المهمة المتمثلة في تلخيص وصياغة جوهر هذه المناقشات. أؤكد للزملاء والزميلات أننا سنأخذ بعين الاعتبار كل الاقتراحات والانشغالات، خاصة المتعلقة بمخاطر الذكاء الاصطناعي ضد النساء والفتيات المستعملة في الحروب وفي النزاعات كما هو معمول في فلسطين. والآن ستقدم السيدة ريوتون تقريراً عن مناقشتنا إلى منتدى البرلمانيات بعد ظهر اليوم. وللعلم والتذكير سيستأنف المنتدى أعماله في الساعة 2:30 ظهراً، وإني أتطلع إلى لقاء الجميع مجدداً بعد ظهر اليوم. والجلسة مرفوعة، وشكراً.